Ego, that is my amigo. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In his presence, mountain up on wings like an ego. Glory heavy, so
I had to let
go of my ego. Got the Holy Spirit, and we go wherever he go. That is my amigo. Holy Spirit, come down.
Hey, listen, as y'all coming into the show, especially on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, please let me know where you are chiming in from on this show. Let me know where you coming in from. Let me know where you tuning in from, the music that y'all listening to. Of course, I do not own the rights to this music. This is Transformation Church, and y'all know I gang bang for the Lord. So I cuss a little bit, I drink a little bit, I have my communion, but let's not get nothing misunderstood. I am on assignment. I'm a kingdom ambassador, probably one of the smoothest, most coolest people of the church that you know. You hear me? No, I'm just kidding with you. But what I will say is today's show gonna be lit. So we're gonna play a little bit of music, and then we finna get to it. By the way, this song is called Eagle by Transformation Worship. So Mike Todd, you killed it, bro.
In his presence, mountain up
on wing like a
glory heavy, so I
had to let go of my
got the Holy Spirit,
and we go wherever he go. That is my amigo. Yeah, 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 yeah.
In his presence, mountain up on wings like an ego. Glory heavy, so
I had to let go of my ego. Got the Holy Spirit, so I go wherever. That is my amigo.
Holy Spirit, come down.
What's going on, YouTube?
Right now. There is no.
Hey, listen, today is the first day of the Private Banker Society podcast. This is what we're going to roll with. This is going to be our committed name for the show. So y'all know we're going to be talking about spirituality, relationship, business, economics, finances, all in one every time I do an episode. I just felt a little weird only talking about business, because life is more than just about business. Life is about relationships. It's about relations. It's about spirituality, your relationship with God. It's about those 4 value pillars that we talk about in our value system, which is stronger, restored focus, stronger, restored family, stronger, restored finances, and stronger, restored faith. Let's get it. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, anything right now, please, what I want you to do, please like, share this live stream so that we can get more people on. Please share this out to the people that need it, because today is going to be real life changing. Y'all know how I bring the information. One of the livest shows on the internet.
There is no substance. All I really need is God. Yeah. Do you believe in the presence of God? It can come in the room like Jehovah can move and open the tomb and close the womb.
All right. We'll get to it on the show. Today we're going to be talking about something I think is very important. But first and foremost, I want to say that today's show is actually sponsored by backend.io. Backend.io is BAKND.io. It's a automation technology for businesses that are online. It controls all the back end of your business, and it's Black owned. I think that thing is extremely important that you understand the importance of it being Black owned. What's going on, Rich? That's my boy right there. What's going on, Rich? Today's show is also sponsored by Flavors of Life. Flavors of Life is a health and nutritious. As y'all can see, it's a really nice, loving, natural fruit, natural juices. It has your natural cold pressed nutrients that you need. I'm a proud supporter of Flavors of Life with Gold Chick and his staff over there. So I just want to say that. So those are the 2 sponsors of today's show. So backend.io and Flavors of Life. That, and let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something about my sponsorships before we even get started with the show. You cannot buy me to rep your brand or your business. When I say that somebody sponsored this show, First of all, one of the companies is mine, and one of the companies is one of my students. And the only way you can get sponsored on this show is if I actually like you. There's no currency involved in me saying that somebody sponsored my show. I really gotta like your product. I really gotta like your brand, and I really have to be a customer. I think that should be some integrity when it comes to, people promoting businesses on their platform. It got to be more than monetary value. And here's another small fun fact for everybody that's on YouTube and Instagram and even Facebook. When I create content for social media, we don't get paid for the content. So I'm not signed up for any monetization on the platforms because we do have businesses that are sustaining itself. We don't need people running ads on our campaigns and sharing our content. So this is one of the pages that y'all can share. I'm one of the people that's on social media that runs real businesses and offers real solutions to our customers, that you don't have to worry that I'm just going to say anything clickbait just to get views and just to get attention. The information that I share is always going to be information that comes from my real experience that I know that can be able to help you. Okay. So if you're ready for today's live show, press number one. If you're ready for today's live show, press number one. And we also are going to be adding somebody to the squad that can edit these videos, long videos and lives up to give y'all short synopsis or snapshots of the show. So it's going to be pretty cool. Well, today's, let me get my notes. Today's focus today is on how your poor leadership skills are costing you a fortune. Poor leadership skills are costing you a fortune. What's going on, Rob? Rob Reed. I hope you've been up to date on your private banking stuff, because I will be having a call with all of the private banking certified agents that we have. All right, so look, y'all, so this is how the show go. This is like for real live. It's not commercialized. So y'all gonna hear me shouting some people out, names that I see. So make sure that if you want to share some comments or some whatever you got, put it in the chats in the comments, and I'll make sure I'll try my best to showcase your comment on it. So what's going on from Uganda, Africa? Mugoya. I think that's your name, Mugoya. So I think that's pretty cool. So listen, today's class is again over how poor leadership skills are costing people a fortune. And y'all, I've been dealing with something. I've been dealing with this whole like masculine alpha male rampage. I think that because of the spectrum of how far the feminist movement went, I do believe that the alpha male value male system and propaganda or content that's being generated is important to level out the playing fields on both sides. As I said in one of my posts, one of my tweets, and one of my comments, is I think that the extreme of both are needed to bring balance. Go Chick, I appreciate the badge, bro. The extreme of both sides of the spectrum, I think, are needed to bring balance to some common sense when it comes to how leaders should actually operate. Because I'm just going to talk about the men from this side, and I'll talk about the ladies from this side, but it has everything to do with leadership. I am seeing online what the lack of effective leadership is doing to our community and our society, and ultimately doing to our wealth. I appreciate that. We have brother on IG. Daniel said, brother, what you talking about is also happening here in our country in Uganda. So what I think is important is because the concept that I am bringing you is much more than just what's happening here in the States. It's all over. We're having a leadership issue, and it's literally showing itself up in relationships or expectations, but it's really broken children that have gotten to an age where we're older, have other children, made a little bit of money. Some of it, a lot has to do with YouTube and social media clicks. Others, people feel this way, but a lot of it has to do with insecurities and inadequacies when it comes to the spirit of leadership that is lacking inside of businesses, inside of organizations, and inside of relationships that we consider marital or couple or whatever we want to consider our relationships. We're having a leadership issue, especially when it comes to finances. We're having a leadership issue, and the lack of leadership development is ultimately the key that is busting or breaking, or the thing that's busting the camel's back, as they say, and that's crippling our communities and the relationships that we're in to this day. I think it's important that we understand this, because if we understand that, I think a lot of us will start to hear each other a little bit more. Okay, the feminist movement, ladies are saying, y'all don't hear me, so I'm going to the extreme, I'm independent. The alpha male movement is, y'all don't hear me, so I'm going to the extreme, I can get a bunch of you. Shut up and just be my partner. Both are inaccurate. Both are indications that neither person submits to leadership and knows truly what leadership is. And I think that that's absolutely key. So we're going to talk about this, and I am going to break down this concept. It will be broken down on both sides of the equation, right? It's going to be a male and female, but also it's going to be you're going to be able to apply it and make it applicable to every aspect of your life, from business, career, to spirituality and faith, to family and relationships, so that you can be able to see that they go backwards and forwards as it pertains to that. So let's talk about the relationship first, okay? I want to talk about the relationship and what the lack of leadership does, because not only have I experienced it in my own house, in my own relationship, but I know a lot of people are experiencing it too yourself. So my aunt said, Jake, why are you always in my head? Listen, I'm just giving y'all what spirit tell me to give. In case y'all don't know what spirit is, the Holy Spirit, you can do with that as you please. I could care less. I'm not religious. I'm about facts of nature of who we are. So when we're talking about the dichotomy or the relationship that most of us find ourselves in, most of us, when we find ourselves in relationships, whether it's business, friendship, or intimate, we all are seeking and yearning for some level of leadership. And let me tell you, rule number one of leadership is we're in a world and in a society where there is a lack of self accountability. And we want to blame everyone else for things and decisions that we made. Can I just keep it a buck? Y'all should be liking this post, sharing this video out, because the show has already started and it got good. And we're already into the bag. We have a lack of self accountability. Do y'all know how many people I hear because of this person, my company broke down? I went through that phase too myself, but I had to say, no, you the one who said yes to this person. You the one who hired this person. You the one who allowed this person. You the one who said yes. You're the one who laid down with that person. You're the one who got into partnership with that person. You're the one who married that person. So you cannot say that someone else is the result or the problem of your situation when you're the one who gave the okay or put yourself in that very situation, that now you can't handle the cause and effects of the decision that you made. Step number one of leadership is self accountability, and we are too soft to be hard on ourselves. Oh, did I start the show too hard? My bad. I may lose some of y'all, but this message is for the people it's made for. Some of us are so soft that we're only hard on everyone else, but not ourselves. That's how fragile we are. And a lot of the things that we hate about people, we hate them because they perform our strengths. Our weaknesses are their strengths, and they do it better than we ever could. And we find envy that they're able to execute in a manner that we cannot. And that envy stirs up inside of us and causes us to lose sight of true leadership. Leadership is about guiding. It's not about putting people in their place. And the problem that I'm seeing relationally for both men and women is the fact that both men and women are trying to put their partner, what's up, Seven, into their space and not leading and guiding on why that person best fits or suits that position. We're so caught on the roles that your business partner or love of your life is supposed to have, and not being committed to what abilities do you have. Because this is the thing that most of us forget. True leadership is about putting people in the place that they can thrive the best. Y'all, I see so many people, they lose out on building amazing businesses and organizations because the leader gets mad when the person that they put out of position, in a position that can't perform, they get mad at the person, but never at themselves for putting that person in a position. Man, I see men mad because their wife can't cook. You knew she couldn't cook when you met her. You knew she couldn't clean when you met her. You know she didn't fold clothes. When you went to her house, you saw that she rolled her clothes and put them in a drawer. So why, when you get committed in the relationship, you now are trying to be dominant over her and chastise her for an ability that she's never shown you that she had? Oh, am I being too grown? I'm being too grown. Because a true leader is a fan of leadership development. Matter of fact, can I tell y'all something? I'm going to tell y'all something. A true leader cares about leadership development. Leadership development says you come to me with raw capabilities. You have the ability to execute what you have. But it's my job as the leader to give you the guidance, the tools, and the resources that can allow for you to become the best version of yourself. See, we've entered into a society where position, verified accounts, fellowship, or the money that you make is used to determine your ability to be a leader. That's furthest from the truth. Just because a man can make money and they're good at giving themselves provision, lady, doesn't mean that they have the ability to be able and capability to provide provision to a family. Because providing provision for yourself is easy. It's just you. Providing provision for a family takes some type of insight, because you have to see, not hear, but I have to be great at planning for the future of the people that I'm investing to for a later time that doesn't exist or that may not even happen. See, just because they have the earning ability today doesn't mean that that man has the provision capability to provide for you and your children for the future. I'm just giving y'all some facts. Fellas, just because that lady can cook, just because when you walk into that house, it feels cozy. Have you not noticed that most women make houses feel cozy? Just because she can cook, clean, and provide a cozy house doesn't mean that she can be a caregiver of the things that you provide them. I want y'all to understand that. There are characteristics that are needed and required in order for you to actually attain success. And all of that is a piece of building a fortune. All of that plays into the fortune and the wealth and the legacy that you're creating. Having the ability to see people as they are, not who you want them to be. And majority of us have a problem with seeing people as they are. And we get mad that they can't perform who we want them to be. They're not that person yet. They're not that person. So we're going to talk about all of that in today's show, because I think it's important for us to understand the keys of that. And leadership says, when I'm committing to you as the person, I know you're not who I need you to be, but there's enough runway for you to become that. And we'll talk about that in a second. Okay? We're going to talk about probably some of the traumas that men and women have with each other, the mistrust that comes there. And then we're going to continue to build on that. Okay. So the first real segment of the show, when we're talking about how poor leadership skills are costing us a fortune, is because Bangladesh, what's going on from Bangladesh? What's up? How are you doing? What I want to sit on is, first and foremost, we got to understand the difference of a mentor and a counsel. Mentorship and getting a counselor or a counsel that can give you specific advice dealing with a specific issue are two different things. And online, I'm seeing a lot of people confused. I see a lot of people confused on what a mentor is. Oh, what's going on from South Africa? What is going on? Oh, y'all showing up today. A lot of us confuse mentorship and counsel. And you try to make people who are good at counsel to be your mentor, and you want mentors to be your counsel. We're confused, which is why a lot of us are getting jaded information. And let me be clear on this concept. You cannot pay someone to be your mentor. My mentors in my life, I do not pay them for counsel, for advice. Because a mentor is somebody you typically look up to for general counsel or general advice, because you trust how they are with their family. You trust how they are in closed doors. You're okay with who they are as a person. You understand their character and their flaws. That's what makes somebody a mentor. And that can only happen through time. That can only happen through an informal relationship that gets built, that supersedes financial gain. The mentors that I have in my life, I could not have paid them for them to want to mentor me, because that's a relationship. A lot of you online, we're getting our hopes up in the people that we're following because you're confusing their counsel as mentorship. Oh, shoot, Dr. Jake, you setting up episode 1 of the Private Banker Society. You coming in hard. I know it. You ain't got to tell me. Paid counsel is not mentorship. Because if you have to pay somebody for them to give you general mentorship, it will always be biased based on the amount that you paid them. So we hang our hats on them being our leaders. You cannot pay someone to be a leader. They just are that. And a lot of us think that because you pay somebody for training or mentorship or for advice and they gave it to you, you start taking them as your mentor. Let me tell you, leadership 101. Be careful who you call your mentor because you will assume their life. Uh-oh. Yeah. And a lot of our poor leadership skills are costing us a fortune. And it's costing you a fortune because when you call somebody your mentor, you're pretty much saying that you want to disciple after them. You're saying that I'm going to be a disciple after your plan, your way, and your strategy, your system, your flow. I'm leaning on your guidance to guide me through life. And when I look at a lot of you and people that I've coached or I counseled, I've only mentored a very few. And the few that I've mentored are all doing extremely well and make millions. Some make multiple six figures, high six figures. These are the people that I mentor. People that I counsel pay me for a specific advice because they got a specific problem and I answer that problem based on my expertise. And a lot of the lives that we are living is because of the decision of who we decided to follow. I know this is hard for a lot of us to take in. But think about who you call your leader or your mentor. And first ask yourself, how close are you to them? If you are not close to them informally, they are not your mentor. And if you do not know them informally, you do not know who they really are. Therefore, when you're saying that you're choosing to follow a mentor or this person is your mentor, you will also be spiritually assuming the devils and demons that they may not be telling you is really that they're really dealing with. So it could be costing you a fortune because leadership is about getting the right counsel and assuming the right mentors that can guide you to your next levels of greatness. A lot of your marriages are failing because of who you are getting advice from. See, when my marriage was going through a tough time, when my wife and I were contemplating separation and we talked about divorce and we're angry with each other, what I can attribute a lot of that struggle with as a leader to my household was who am I getting advice and counsel from? Because who I am choosing to believe is causing a strain in this relationship. So then I had to ask myself, what other advice am I getting in different areas that could be causing a strain on my relationship with money, or my relationship with my business, or my relationship with my success? And who I choose to follow, whoever's advice I choose to follow is a direct reflection of my leadership ability. And a lot of y'all are following the wrong people, which is why your life is still not changing. Mentorship and counsel are two different things. When I started to look at my investments and who I was investing to pour into me or to teach me, first question I ask is, what expertise do they have? Okay. Now that I see their expertise, is there proven work or case studies that prove that that person is an expert at what I'm asking for them to give me advice in. A lot of us are struggling in our lives, in our businesses, in our relationships is because you keep going to the dollar store for advice that you need to go to the boutique store to get. Yeah. You keep trying to get a bargain for information, so you get information from people that are not proven. Like for an example, right? I don't get marital advice from people who have not been through what me and my wife have been through. You got to be one of you got to be a full endowed entrepreneur. One of the spouse, one of the other has to be a full support of that spouse. The other person you have, like there are certain things that I need for you to be able to match, for me to be seeking consistent advice from you. Because if you have never been through where I've been through, there is no way that you can give me any advice to help me get through what I need to get through. But because people speak well online, because people are eloquent with their words, or they use a piece of vocabulary of the English literature that you've never heard before, and they know how to put them together in a great way, and they position themselves to be good of authority, and they position themselves to be of quality based on who they continue to surround themselves in, we start taking that person's advice before asking, what's the fruit? What's your struggles? What have you failed at? What did you learn? What makes you qualified to be able to guide or to lead or to give me information that can be applicable to my life in a way that I want it to nourish or grow? If I can't get those answers, then you cannot get my money for counsel. I'm not taking marital advice from somebody that's not married. I'm not taking entrepreneurial advice from somebody that's not an entrepreneur. And I damn sure am not taking business advice from somebody that have not built an 8-figure company debt-free. And I damn sure ain't taking advice from somebody whose relationship I do not want. Because can I tell you all something? Your leadership ability is based on the counsel and the mentor that you keep. Your leadership capability is based on the counsel that you have and the mentor that you follow. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's important that we understand that. Because as a leader, who I'm getting my information from could be costing me a fortune. And I see so many young men and older men in age, but they're young in action, want the respect of their spouse, their partners, their family, but you don't have anything respectable to respect. You think making money makes you a leader? It does not. You think being a leader makes you money? It does not. So these are skill sets that must be developed in order for you to truly be able to understand that how much leadership lack of development we have is causing us to lose out on tons of opportunity. And I cannot stress this enough. You cannot pay someone to be your mentor, but you can pay them to give you counsel. You can pay them for consulting for a specific issue or a problem. Somebody can come up to me today and be like, yo, I'll pay you $1 million a year to mentor me. No, sir. I can't mentor you. Because for me to mentor you, that means that we have to have the same biblical beliefs. For me to mentor you, that means that you must be interested in how I see spirituality. You must be interested in how I see my family. You must be interested in how I move my money. This is why I tell people all the time. That's why scripture said you cannot serve two masters. Because serving too many masters will get you in a position where you don't move. That's why people who believe in using the bank and depending on the bank, that's why they can't follow my concept, because I teach people and families how to be the bank. So you cannot follow me fully and then follow someone else that says keep using the bank's money. You can't serve too many masters. You can't follow too many doctrines. Press the number one. I want y'all to be honest. Y'all done bought a whole bunch of people courses and systems and businesses, and you confused more than you were before you started learning finance, business, or anything online. Press the number one if that is you. You got online, you've taken courses, you've been in mentorship, quote unquote, mentorship programs, mastermind programs, and you're more confused now than you've ever been. Because you don't know which way is right, which way is up, what way is down. Press the number one if that is you. Yeah. So now, men that press the number one, imagine you already confused. Now you go into your partner who you're supposed to lead, but you confused, but you want them to be confident in you. Can somebody help me make that make sense? Every 2 minutes, you bringing a new business idea back to them in a new way after you just told them that this way was the way. How can you expect for your woman to back you if you confused? How can you expect for your employees, your staff to back you if you confused? How can you expect your family to back you if you confused? And confusion don't bring no wealth to nobody. Yep. The reason why I have a counsel, but nobody living is my mentor. I have counsel, relationship counsel, business counsel, spirituality counsel, and I do not get advice or take advice from them out of their element of expertise. I just don't do it. Can somebody tell me why I don't take advice from my counsel outside of the realm of why I am paying for their counsel? Can anyone answer the question, why don't I take advice from them in any realm outside of their expertise? Can anyone answer that? Can anyone answer that? That's right. That's not what I paid them for. I don't know what your values are. You never express your values online. You never express your family values online. You never express none of that online. So I'm not taking any advice outside of what I deem you to be an expert in. You cannot advise me on relationships if I go to you for finances if I don't know your marriage. Let me tell you why my friends take my advice. Let me tell you why my friends take my advice when it comes to when I talk to them about marriage and relationships. And my mentees that actually I mentor is because they know what I struggle with and what I deal with and what I overcome. Because as a mentor, it is my job to expose my skeletons so that I can show you how not to have those skeletons. So there's a little bit of informal depth that my mentees, I must trust that they have exclusive exposure to, because I have to give them all of the bad as well as all of my good. But when I'm giving someone counsel, I just got to give them what they ask for. And a lot of y'all begin to start trying to mirror people's life from the surface level information they give you on social media. You know why so many of y'all were so mad? Or what's that relationship, the black brother? The relationship guy. What is that, the black brother? The relationship guy that was on social media that gave a bunch of relationships. Then he got found out that he was cheating and everyone threw him to the wayside. What is that brother name? What's that brother name? Somebody know it. What is that brother name? He had cards. No, the brother, he married. He was in a video. He did Derek Jackson. Derek Jackson. You know how many people threw Derek Jackson to the wayside? You know how many threw him to the wayside? Because y'all start taking advice from that brother without understanding the demons that he dealt with. I'm trying to help y'all out. Because leadership is literally costing you a fortune. And I'm not talking about just financial fortune. I'm talking about the love fortune. I'm talking about spiritual peace fortune. I'm talking about health fortune. I'm talking about your body looking fine fortune. I'm talking about great friends fortune. I'm talking about overabundance of all things that bring wealth to us outside of just financial gain. I'm talking about all of the elements of fortune: family, relationships, spirituality, health, and finances are all important in your wealth journey. But the brother named Derek Jackson, y'all threw the brother to the wayside because y'all made him y'all standard and y'all made him y'all's mentor without knowing his personal demons. So y'all took everything he said as if it was gold versus just what he was giving you. I don't buy into people when I'm just getting a certain concept from them. Boom, I'm taking that. But I would actually petition to say He is a much better relationship counselor today than he ever was before. Let me tell you why. Here's why. Because he and his wife publicly dealt with infidelity that you and your spouse got to privately keep and work through. He and his wife had to publicly deal with his shortcoming while you and your wife get to privately deal with yours. Derek Jackson. I'm not talking about Derek Grace. Derek Grace is my brother and he's my friend. Just in case anybody wanted to know. Got to publicly deal with it. Now, the reason why I say he's a better relationship coach now is because now he's dealt with not only him and his wife having to overcome infidelity, but now he also had to deal with infidelity in a public setting, which now allows for him to be able to help people in relationships that deal with infidelity privately and publicly, which is a large problem in relationships and marriages worldwide. But had I gotten relationship advice from Derek Jackson before the mishaps and the exposure of it, I would have a false sense of what it takes to be in a committed relationship because the man that was delivering it, his skeletons wasn't proven. It wasn't shown. So I'm only getting half of the advice and not the full thing. That's why I tell you to be careful. Be careful with who you're calling your mentor versus the counsel. And this is why when I get counsel from people, I ask them, what's the worst thing that you ever been through? Because depending on how you bounce back from the worst thing, it will help me decide how valuable the good thing is that you're delivering to me. This is why in scripture it says a poor man's words are not heard, they're despised. Because that poor man has all of the information to change their life, but they refuse to go from the worst state to the best state. So they just stay in a state of a bunch of information, but not developing and growing. Your leadership skills are costing you a fortune because a lot of us don't realize that as a leader, specifically men that are leaders, it is your job to decipher the information that you're receiving before you bring it home to your household or consider it truth or real. The truth is, there's a lot of information going around saying that most men should be in polygamous relationships. That's a half truth. Then they say that men of value are the ones that should be in polygamous relationship. But the concept of value is only being hung on money. That's also half of the truth. Somebody on Instagram, they say the things that you guys don't understand is everyone needs money to start these fortunes. They said, fuck all the relationships. I'm talking about the money, but you're right. And can I tell y'all something? And cousin, I'm saying this with a bunch of love. The lack of character and the lack of relationship building, you will never be able to make enough money to build a fortune. And character and relationship building are the number 2 skill sets needed to be a leader. 10 times out of 10, men and women that lack character and lack the ability to build valuable relationships will never build wealth. You can have your stint in making some money. Everybody can make money. Everybody can learn how to con a system, to run a scam, flip the bread, shortcut it to, but not everybody got character and have great relationships with the people that they built with. Character and relationships will always take you places that money could never get you in the door of. So when I tell you poor leadership is saying that money is more important than character and relationships. A person that has high character and high value in important relationships will never be a broke person. But a person who only chases money will always end up broke. So what I'm saying is, when I say poor leadership skills are costing people a fortune, I'm saying poor leadership skills are costing people a fortune. Women think that they're high value because their body look good. That was manufactured. Or their eyes or their lips, or they got a good sex game. Everybody's sex game could be amazing if you practice a lot. A woman that has sex with 1,000 men, of course, your sex game on point in comparison to a woman that's only been with. Of course, a guy that was out here having sex with every woman that he could, of course his dick game is better than a guy that's only been with 5 ladies. And they each were 1 or 2 times a piece. The rest of them, the young brother been jacking off for as long as he could. So if I'm tying value to sex or how somebody looks, how is that valuable? Fellas, those of us that carry big, third legs. You think that you're the only brother that got a big third leg? Especially if you come from my community. Women, you think you're the only one with a butt? The only one that got the ability to open up your vagina to get what you want and finesse women? Guys, you think you're the only one that got paper that can literally buy the attention of these ladies? That ain't value. Boy, women make me sick. Yeah, but I put this thing on. Men make me sick. Yeah, I put that thing on them. What? What? That ain't valuable. If I can go find another you somewhere else, that is not valuable. Value is in something that is intangible, that's not a commodity. You can't easily get it. It's not easily out there. Brothers, I hear people on social media all the time talking about, but making $1 million, that makes you valuable. Yeah, brother. But what I want to tell you is, if you're talking about how many men versus other men make $1 million, that raises your value. Blase, freaking fracking blase. But the question is, can I find another you out there? How are the chances? What are my chances that I can find another you? That determines the value. Women be like, I give my man good sex and I submit to him and I cook and I clean. That makes me valuable, baby. You ain't said nothing a hooker, a chef, in a cleaning lady or a company could do. Men say, man, all I gotta do is, give a good, D, and give us some money, and that's how I value, brother. That's why these ladies out here prefer just to do OnlyFans. Because if they gotta just open up their legs and get some from you, and then that's how you make money, because that's how you deem your value. They just did what's that called? It's called damn, what's it called? It's called they call it something, I forgot. It's when banks, crypto, they go to crypto to decentralize. All they did was decentralize the bullshit that you're saying. So the ladies say, okay, I don't want to have sex with just any guy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an OnlyFans and decentralize the concept. If men are saying that all I got to do is provide sex, cook for them, clean for them, and that's considered value and look fine, the women say, you know what? I'm just going to get an OnlyFans, make an exclusive group, charge people, and I ain't got to deal with none of the bullshit that you're talking about. I'm going to decentralize it and say, I can get you in a multitude of people without having to actually do the action of doing whatever you're asking me to do. Which means they found your value that you said that you had in a multitude of other people. And the problem that we're dealing with is that true leadership can't easily be replaced. I tell my wife, you can be mad at me, but it's going to be hard for you to find another me for real. Not only do I have the ability to make a lot of money, I know the Bible inside and out. I got a spiritual calling over my life that I actively pursue every single day. I love my children. I'll take my daughter to school every day. I pick her up 80% of the time. We give more than people can make. We hire, we staff. I read. I believe in the value of a powerful woman. I believe in the value of friendships. I retired my family. I'm kind. I'm loving, but I will get in somebody's ass if it comes to me protecting what's mine. See, you can't find a lot of that in the world. I'm very big on self-accountability. I will go to my daughter as much as I will go to my wife and say that I apologize. I'm sorry. I was out of line. I'm sorry. Self-accountability. When I stepped out on my wife, she didn't have to go find it in a phone. She didn't find it in an email. She didn't find it on Facebook. I told my wife that I stepped out. Self-accountability. And I told her I'm willing to deal with any of the consequences, but I can't keep this burden up. You said, damn, Jake, you telling all your business. How else? I'll tell you the failures of my business. I'll tell you the failures of business partnerships, as well as I've fallen short in my own relationship. I'm not perfect, but I'm striving. Leadership is, despite what the consequence could be, the pulling to operate with integrity will pull on you so much that you gotta come clean, because you know you can't be no good leader with giving half versions of you because you hide in skeletons that you don't want nobody to see. That's leadership. And in this world, we're lacking leadership. Y'all want me to tell you how accountable this was? My wife said the reason why I'm staying is because I didn't have to chase you down to get this information. You felt compelled to tell me. I've always told my wife, if you ask me a question, I don't care what the consequences are, I will always tell you the truth. So do not ask me what you do not want to know, because I will tell you the truth. And a true leader, to the people that they're leading, you can't hide from them pivotal information expecting that your leadership is going to be the same, because 99.99 plus 0.1% of leadership has 100% to do with integrity and character. And integrity and character is not saying that you won't fall short. Integrity and character says I'm going to be held accountable to all of my actions, and I'm willing to pay the cost of the consequence so that I can, in fact, be true to the nature of who God called me to be. That is integrity and character. Not hiding the truth and then operating in the lie, but being the lie. A lot of people stop hearing me talk about family and relationship. Want me to tell you why? I cannot teach you what I'm struggling with. I cannot teach you what I did not come clean on. I cannot teach you what I have not overcome. Now I can teach you what I overcame because I fixed my situation and it is better than it's ever been. So I can come to the table and say, okay, now let me give you game and advice on what I've been through, because in real life, I'm dealing with real issues. And let me tell you the beautiful thing about my wife. This is leadership on both sides. My wife said, baby, I know that you stepped out. I'm hurting. It does hurt. But I do also acknowledge where I also have neglected you, that put you in a position where you felt, And I said, accountability. Now we can get somewhere. That's leadership. Leadership doesn't point. It says also, what could I have done? Or what couldn't I have done that made a person that doesn't operate like that operate in that space? And let me own up to that too as well. See, we don't want to talk about the real on the internet. We got too many people faking and lying. We got too many people acting like they shit don't stink. We got too many people acting as if you ain't going through real world issues, real world problems. I can't give advice from no dirty heart, and I can't guide nobody if I haven't overcome it. I'm sorry, but I'm just true to death on leadership. This is why Christ in scripture, let me tell you why Christ is my mentor. I got two main mentors. I got two main mentors. It is Jesus, but it's also Solomon. Leadership has 100% to do with accountability. Leadership has a 100% to do with self-accountability. self-accountability, and caring more about living your life in ministry through your work, not through your mouth. Your lack of leadership development and leadership skills is costing you a fortune, because eventually the people, your family, your staff, your employees, your customers will eventually see who you really are. Tom has a very beautiful way of exposing people's bullshit. Tom has a crazy way of doing that. I hear a lot of y'all say, your partner is the reason why you can't thrive, and your best friends backstab you. Yeah, I done been backstabbed by a lot of people. But I've never been backstabbed by somebody I didn't think was going to backstab me. Oh. I've been backstabbed by a lot of people, but I've never been backstabbed by someone that I did not think was going to backstab me. What's up, Don Perrion? Now, Jake, what do you mean? I'm full of self-accountability. My question that I always ask myself is, if I knew that this Negro would backstab me, why did I let them in my circle? Clearly, they wanted something that I wanted, and I figured that the backstab would be worth what I wanted. So I can't be mad that they backstabbed me. I got to be mad at myself because I knew it would happen, and I still chose to walk down that path. You are the sum of your choices. Your friends are a direct reflection of you. Yeah. Your friends are a direct reflection of you. Yeah. Yeah. The people that backstabbed you in your business, you chose them. You said yes. You chose to trust them in full capability. Self-accountability, that's you. You lost money in your business. Yes, it's somebody else's fault, but you're the reason. Well, Jake, what you mean? Yes, it's someone else's fault, but you're the reason that fault was even allowed. Ooh. Y'all, last year our company took a multi-million-dollar hit, over $3.5 million to be exact. The loss was not my fault. But the reason was, Jake, how could you say that? Because I let them into my fold. I let them into my company. I let them onto my merchant account. I let my feelings of fast wealth overcome my nature of properly vetting them out to figure out if they were who they said that they were. So because I decided to overlook my vetting process, the result of whatever came after that was because of my decision to shortcut the process that would have kept me from having to deal with this mess. Oh, I know we don't want to deal with the truth of leadership, but I got to tell you. Self-accountability do something crazy. Man, I got robbed that night and I almost died. Well, first of all, why are you out at night if you don't have the ability to defend yourself? Y'all do know that, right? So because you lack in your preparation for self-defense, anything that happens to you out in that world, because you choose not to prepare for the dangers of that world, unfortunately, self-accountability says you have to take the blame for that. Yep. Parents, when your children get molested, that's your fault. The person who did the molesting, they got to deal with their own fault. But self-accountability starts with you. How much vetting did you do? What qualifies that you trust somebody with your child? Because they're of the same bloodline? Because they're friends to you? Because they're what? So that qualifies somebody that you trust them with your child? No. You decided to let them go to that school. You decided to overlook some of the warnings that they gave you. But because you wanted to go out, you wanted to make a little extra money, you wanted to build your business, you overlooked the safety of your child for the comfortability of your choices. So the result of that is on that parent, because that child is under the care of the parent. It is the parent's fault. Self-accountability will make a man and a woman out of a lot of us. But everybody doesn't want to be self-accountable because it's easier to blame. And let me tell y'all a small little truth. The people that are the most successful in the world are the best at self-accountability. That's why they become so hard. People that are extremely successful, they become hard because they cannot stand being around people who don't take self-accountability. Your ability can be through the roof, but if you can't take self-accountability, if you cannot take self-accountability, you will never be able to excel. Because your success and your failures will always be somebody else's fault but your own. Fellas be like, man, my wife cheated on me. My girl cheated on me, man. So I'm angry. And because of that, I'm going to treat every woman bad because this person treated me bad. Where's the self-accountability, big dog? Self-accountability means that whatever you attracted that woman, you couldn't keep it up. So she stepped out because you could not keep what you attracted. Jake, what you mean? Men, y'all, we got amnesia sometimes. You forgot when you got that woman. Y'all remember all those dreams that y'all then sold her? Yeah, baby, I got you. I'm gonna take care of your rent. I'm gonna take care of you. You know, I'm gonna pay for this. I'm gonna buy that. I got you. Like, that man did what? I never do that. And you forgot that that's how you got her. So when you stop doing that and she go find somebody else, You get mad at her. No, that's you. You promised her a life that you couldn't provide. You promised her a future that you couldn't deliver on. She bought into what you said because it wasn't enough time to watch your actions. So she had to buy into the product that you sold her. Ladies, I'm finna get on you too. Because we're talking about leadership and self-accountability. Leadership, self-accountability. Ladies, how you got that man, you're going to have to keep that man. You started cooking. Yeah, I know in your mind, you say, I don't cook every day. But every day that you hung out with that man at your house, you cooked. So his expectation of that relationship is she cooks every day. You may say, in our relationship, I didn't cook every day. But in his mind, yeah, you did. I said yes to that. When every time I came to your house, it was spotless. So when I moved in, I expected that it will always be spotless. He bought into that. Yeah, you were shaking your butt, showing your skin, and every time he came to your house, y'all had sex. So in his mind, it's if I come to this house all the time, she gonna always be in fighting trim. Her hair is always gonna be done. Her makeup is always gonna be whatever he like or dislike. The food is always gonna be cooked. So the expectation that that man had was what your ass delivered. And when you cannot deliver that on a daily basis and y'all get into a relationship, you'll be mad that his interest somewhere else. Well, his interest is somewhere else because you sold a false representation of what was supposed to be delivered. And I don't know if y'all understand, but anytime we're sold something based on one thing, but we get something totally different, everybody goes back to the store for a refund. Oh, we don't want that truth though either, do we? Yeah, we don't want that truth. Dr. Ness said it's all about understanding and meeting each other's expectation. She's right. But we go to the store and get a refund the moment something ain't exactly how we bought it or thought that it would be based on what's being delivered. So in a relationship, when you are not being authentically yourself and you're selling them a version of you that is not you, no wonder after 3, 4, 5 years when that shell come off and they get in the real you, that's when trouble in paradise starts happening. Because a leader knows I must be authentically myself in order for people to follow who I naturally am. The reason why so many people struggle with imposter syndrome is because you are acting like a different version of you that the real version of you can't lead from. Because whether you believe it or not, your spirituality is the truest, most purest, most healthiest, most natural, most purest godly version of yourself. And the internal battle that you have is in your nature, who you naturally are, versus what you're showing, the nature of who you perceive that you want to be. So the nature of who you are is in conflict in the nature of who you're perceiving to the world. That's why you deal with the imposter syndrome. You lied your way to wealth and you wonder why you're having a problem keeping it up. It doesn't feel natural to you. So you lose your peace so that when you in a relationship, your spouse wants this version of you, but you really have always been this. And in my relationship, what I noticed in mine was relationships would be a whole lot healthier. Business partnerships would be a whole lot healthier. People actually just show who they are up front. But because we lack true leadership, and we think that exposure of our real nature will stop people from wanting to follow you. And the truth is, you're right. Exposure of your true nature will fend people off that does not belong in your world. But it also will bring people to you that do belong. And the reason why you be having a lot of friendship issues and family issues and business partner issues, I'm talking to myself too, is because we give them access to a version of us that's not us. So they fall in love with the idea of you, not the ideal version of you. Dr. Jake, you are teaching today. So you sold people the idea of you. Because you're scared to show people the ideal version of you, who you really are. Ideal version of you is the perfect version of you that is intended for you. That's it. I appreciate that, Brody. Brody said he's going to follow me. I appreciate that. And lastly, the reason why leadership is costing you a fortune. And y'all, let me tell y'all something. When I say fortune, I'm really not even talking about money. I'm talking about peace. Y'all, when I first started making the money that I dreamed of, business was doing over $1 million a month, debt free, investor free. I was losing the most costly version of myself that money could never buy. Peace. So when I say your poor leadership skills is costing you a fortune, I mean your poor leadership skills is costing you your peace. Your poor leadership skills fail to tell you that another key component to being a great leader is building a great team. And in this life that we call life, one of the biggest pieces of your team is the partner that you choose. And who you choose can cost you a fortune. If you choose a woman or a man just based on looks, that's no different than hiring somebody just based on their resume. It look good. But anybody can make a resume look good. Anybody can manufacture a resume. I see a lot of women's resumes that are manufactured. It's called BBLs and uplifts and lip injections and eye shots and Botox and mommy makeovers, breast lift, ass lift. I see a lot of manufactured resumes. I've been around a lot of manufactured resumes, but there's a difference between a resume and a portfolio. A portfolio is a collection of case studies of businesses that you've grown, you've operated, or that you've consulted, and the result that you delivered to them. And you're able to explain exactly how you got them to that result, the problem that they dealt with, and how you can help this company overcome it. And I see a lot of people coming into relationships, business partnerships, taking people's word for their resume, but never asking them for their portfolio. Oh. Is that too deep? Because leadership is about alignment. Leadership is about business building, organizational building. Leadership is about picking the right people on your team. So the fact that you have no one in your life at this moment that can support you in your endeavor means that you're not that good of picking the right people to be on your team. Jake, but I'm stuck in a location. I'm stuck in New York, or I'm in Atlanta. There's not a lot of. I run my kingdom like a business. My kingdom is comprised of relationships, family, my spousalship, my businesses, my economy, all this stuff is inside of this kingdom that I'm building. And if I cannot find good talent in the city that I'm in, as an entrepreneur or business, as an entrepreneur or business, if you can't find talent where you are, how do you find talent? Anyone can answer. If you cannot find talent where you are, how do you find talent? Anyone can answer. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. If I'm trying to build a company and I have the resources to hire anyone, if I can't find talent in the area or community that I'm in, where do I go to find talent? Maisha said, look elsewhere. Max said, network. So the excuse that you don't have the friends that support you, the excuse that you don't have the partner that supports you, self-accountability, remember? It's on you. You got to go and locate or relocate or expose yourself to the environments where you can find your most suitable partner. But a lot of us try to make the best of what we have access to, not the best that's out there that's accessible to us. That's what's costing you a fortune. Your friends are by happenstance of your environment that you grew up in. That just means y'all are circumstantial friends. You have a circumstantial friendship. Meaning, if you never were in that environment and y'all never grew up together, they never would have been your friend. Had you been in a different environment, raised with a different group of people, you would never be friends with half of the people that you consider a friend today. Which means your future and your fortune of peace, of living, of life is subjugated to the environment you had no choice but to be in as a child. A leader says, I love you. You were good in the time that you were good for us. But moving forward, Unfortunately, this is where we depart. And can I tell y'all something? Can I tell y'all something? The best people that are meant for you, you don't have to chase or convince. The best people that are the best for you, you don't have to chase and you don't have to convince them to walk that journey with you. They're going to be attracted to you. Leadership. It's important to understand. And it's costing you your peace. Leadership, and I'll leave you with this. Lastly, you have to have a standard of excellence, a code that you operate from. If you do not have a code that you operate from, you will never be a good leader. How many of y'all have heard the scripture? How many of y'all heard the scripture, when a man findeth a wife, he finds a good thing? Kayla of ATL Bodywork said, this is really helping me. Thank you. I needed this. She said, absolutely. I am learning and accepting that. KC, the creator on YouTube, said, that's right, 100. The best way to display leadership is to follow. And that's why we are following you. I appreciate that. How many of y'all have heard in scripture, when a man findeth a wife, he finds a good thing? See, a lot of us look at it from the definition translation of find. A find. And we don't even know the definition of find. Notice scripture did not say, when a man searches for a wife, he finds a good thing. He said, when a man findeth a wife, he has a good thing. Now, the definition of find, if you're on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, y'all know I like to share y'all know I like to share my screen because I want y'all to see the definition yourself. See, this is why I tell y'all, we got to get to the point where you start looking up the definition of words, y'all. We just be so gung-ho with what somebody tell us and think we understand the definition. The action verb of find, the definition is to discover or perceive by chance or unexpectedly. The definition, go back, of findeth. The definition of findeth. It's not seeking. The verb for find is to discover or perceive by chance of or unexpectedly. So when in scripture it's telling us findeth or find, it's saying that when a man stumbles on a wife, when a man stumbles on something not seen before, and he finds his wife, he will have a good thing. Now, Jake, please help me understand this. A lot of us are seeking for a spouse. You're seeking for a business partner. You're seeking for a wife. You are seeking for a husband, which means you're going out of your way to search for something that is out of the way. Dr. J, God damn it, you teaching today. I know it. I don't need nobody else to tell me. So when you are a businessman and you're seeking to find a honey at a club, 9 times out of 10, you will probably find someone that is not compatible to add value to what you actually do. In scripture, it says to find a wife is a good thing, which means I got to stumble upon her while I'm on my journey, which means if I stumble upon you as I'm in my work, the odds of you having the ability to support and add value to me as a partner or as an asset is a lot more highly likely than if I found you at a gas station. Finding someone in your work is mean they're already crossing paths with you along the journey. So the reason why a lot of us keep finding bad business partners is because we try to make people what they are not. And when you find a good thing, they already have the natural capabilities of what you need and desire for your business or your kingdom or your family. They already have what you desire. They already have it. They already have the nature of what you desire. Fellas, can I tell y'all something? You cannot make a woman find value or see value in what you do if you did not find them on the path of what you do. Okay. When I started my business, I was already in business. But when my wife came into the fold, my business was on the rebuild. Okay. When I met my wife, it was on accident. It was a happenstance. I wasn't looking for anybody, nor was I seeking for anyone. It was an happenstance. And what I needed as a partner was somebody that understood operations and human resource development, understanding how to manage people, because I didn't have time managing people. And on my journey, I stumbled upon my wife. And she actually had the characteristics and the ability that I needed on my journey that God had given me. See, we forget in scripture, fellas, that in scripture, Adam was working. He had to be put to sleep from producing for him to be able to wake up and discover his wife. But because she came from his rib, whether it was metaphorically or physically, to come from a rib means that you already have what that partner needs in provision or providing or supporting. They already have it. That's why I tell a lot of people self-accountability. You shouldn't even be dating. You should be working on you. Your business partner should already have what you need. The love of your life should already have the basic qualities that you need. Them multiplying and getting better at what they have is different. But if you're trying to get them to have something that they didn't come packaged with, that's like putting a new kit, a different kit on a model car, like a certain car. It looks weird. So our poor leadership skills are costing us a fortune, your peace. And because you don't know yourself, you don't know how to pick your spouse because you do not know what you need. So you don't know what she can provide. So if you get married in the unknown, you also have to leave room for the unknown to become discovered so that your partner actually has a chance to actually aid you in that process. As a leader, you cannot leave your spouse just because they don't get it. Because they didn't get it and they didn't have it when they met you. And you didn't have it. So you got to leave that room for growth. But your poor leadership skills are costing you a fortune. Because leadership is about guiding and actually leading, not pointing and pushing. A lot of people think that leadership is about brash aggression. Like, I see a lot of men that's like, like the alpha man. The alpha male is aggressive and strong and arrogant and big. An alpha man don't have to pretend to be an alpha man or show that they're an alpha man to be an alpha man. Just when the shit get cracking and shit hit the fan, you know an alpha man based on who come to them when shit hit the fan. If I have to always present myself as an alpha man, as my title, I'm a man of value. If I got to always position that means I'm not a man of value. I'm trying to sell that I'm a man of value when I should be able to see that you're a man of value. This is why Christ said, I am whatever they say that I am. This is why y'all follow Jesus for the narrative or whatever they lied to y'all and told y'all he was. I follow Jesus because he gangster. Let me tell y'all how gangster God was, that Jesus was. Because I do not believe that he was the God. I do believe that he was a God, as he said, as we all are. He was our brother, perfect example. Let me show you how gangster Jesus was, or Yahshua, whatever y'all want to call him based on your religious belief because you feel like whatever. I don't care. Yahshua was so gangster. Jesus was so gangster. When the police, when the military, and the leaders of that day was questioning him, He said, as I said before, I am a son of God, as it is written in the word that y'all read. Doesn't it not say that ye are sons of God, which means that we all are a son of God? If you do not believe that I say that I am who I am, look at my work. I ain't got time to argue with you. You either gonna believe it or you not, but look at my work and tell me, am I not who I say that I am? That's an alpha male. That's an alpha male. Listen, I ain't finna get in no argument about who I say that I am. Look at my work. I ain't got to make no long ass portfolio every time I introduce myself. When people say, Jake, what do you want people? What do you want to just say? Dr. Jake, owner of the Bizco firm. They can go find out who I am. I don't need you to introduce me about all this stuff. I am on this stage for a reason. If you want to see if I am valid or I am qualified to be teaching you, you go do the research on your own because my work stands alone. Leadership is not based upon you telling people that you're a leader. Leadership is based upon what leaders have you developed. Yeah, I know you became a millionaire, but how many people in your circle made a million? How many people that have touched you actually became a millionaire too? My mentor told me, Jake, you're not a millionaire until you create a millionaire. You're not a million. You don't have $1 million until you paid $1 million. I said, fine. I know for a fact I created two. A real alpha male, a real leader, does not have to say that they're a leader and that they're an alpha male. Only people that care more about the position than the responsibility want everybody to call them by their title. Only people that don't respect the responsibility care more about the title. I don't give a damn what you call me. If y'all notice, this is why Jesus never got into the schematics of titles. People be like, well, Jesus was God. He never corrected anybody because I am whatever you say that I am. That's why Jesus said, I am what the people say that I am. Because titles don't matter to somebody doing the real work. You think the lion, alpha lion of a pride care about everybody? Oh, that's no. That alpha male lion, matter of fact, he says, don't call me until there's some shit that happened. Let me know when you need me. Other than that, don't bring me out here. And actually, can I tell y'all a small secret? Alpha men, for the fellas out there that's striving to be an alpha man. I know I see a whole lot of shit online about people that's alpha men. Alpha men are actually more patient than beta. Alpha men are slow to pull the trigger and quick to give chances and quick to give opportunities because they know that when they pull the trigger, ain't no coming back. Beta men bark and they're quick to anger. They're quick to action. They're quick to saying something. They quick to running their mouth. They quick to trying to position themselves. They quick to try to tear somebody's name down. They're quick to try to assassinate somebody's character. They're quick to try to expose somebody. That's a beta man. Because a beta man wants to be perceived as the alpha when the alpha man don't really want everybody to know who because that eliminates the level of surprise when that alpha man got to step up. Alpha man ain't got to tell you that they're an alpha. When they walk into their room, you feel a shift in their spirit. You feel a shift in the environment. When an alpha man walk in that room, he can. An alpha man, you got a man that's puffed up like this, that walk around like this all the time. An alpha man can walk in here like this, say few words, and the whole room pays attention to him. Alpha male. So what I am saying is that if this is who you strive to be, become a leader. A leader accepts self-accountability before asking anyone else to be accountable. A leader gets results. A leader produces results. A leader doesn't spend time gossiping about what this other person is doing. A leader doesn't have time to be following anybody that's not bringing them any value. A leader doesn't have time doing anything that's mundane because they're too busy being productive in life. A leader doesn't have time to think about another man's house because they're too busy making sure that their kingdom is good. This is why true leaders pay for counsel. A true leader pays for counsel from other leaders that have expertise in other spaces that can give them updates and changes and stuff that they can make because they don't have time to be trying to study nobody else's work. Your poor leadership skills are costing you a fortune. People come to me and be like, Jake, such and such doing this. I'll be like, oh, okay. Did you know such? No. I don't even know who you're talking to. This is why when people want mentorship from me, I don't charge for mentorship. But it's very hard to be my mentee. Because I'm too busy building my own world to try to bring your problems and try to coach you on your problems. I got somebody on IG hackling. They say game was never meant to be sold, bro. Well, how the hell is money made? You said game not meant to be sold. Then how come Sony don't teach everybody how to make the PlayStation? How come the shirt designer company don't just give y'all a kit so that you can build it yourself? You ain't got to pay for the shirt. If game is never supposed to be sold, why the hell do we go to the restaurant and pay for somebody else to cook the food and they just don't give us the recipe? Game is always sold. Game is always sold. And anybody think that game is not sold is crazy. Game being sold is the shortcut to life. I'm not going to spend time learning how to make glasses. I'm going to pay you for your ability to make glasses. Game being sold. I know how to make glasses. I'm going to make these glasses and I'm going to sell these glasses to people that don't want to actually learn how to make glasses. What does that mean? The intellectual property of what I use to make these glasses is now being sold as a physical product. Game is always sold. Now, buddy want to get on here and want me to add him to my social media. No, go build your own social media. Oh, that's right. I don't have time being on nobody else's live because I'm too busy actually getting work done. Game not sold. That's crazy as hell. Game is always sold. Somebody said you got 14. Yeah, I'm on YouTube and Facebook. Sister. All right, y'all. Y'all, this sister crazy. I don't even know why I still get upset when people be posting shit. They just be talking. Hey, what's up, 7313? They just be talking. People just talk. I think I get y'all. Let me tell you why I get frustrated with people on social media. This is why I get frustrated with people on social media. I'll tell you why. Because people on social media, this is just people in general. People are quick to try to correct a specific person. I'm talking to you, sister. People be trying to correct a certain person without having all the facts. It's hard to tell somebody like me certain things when I've lived it. During the pandemic, we paid over $4 million and hired over 52 full-time people that got fired from their jobs so they can be able to take care of their families. We had over 10 people making 6 figures a year. I paid over 3 people $1 million a year. I've retired my family. I paid off my family's mortgage. I retired my wife. I live debt-free. I have no debt. I'm a man that absolutely believes in God. I teach and give courses for free. I don't charge for courses on my programs. I built an 8-figure conglomerate debt-free. I hired my staff. And when my company went through a trying time, I sold all of my assets so that my staff can have salaries to take care of their family. So nobody can tell me about nothing about leadership. Nobody. You can't tell a man that sold his land, his exotic cars, his Rolexes, so he can make sure he pays salary for his team and his staff, nothing about leadership. Nothing. Nothing. He can't. Can't. You said money ain't nothing. Everything that I just mentioned had nothing to do with money, had everything to do with sacrifice. Making sure that your family don't have to work. Paying off their debt so they can be able to live well. Taking care of people, giving them jobs and opportunities. Not hoarding the money. I ain't got nothing else to say, cousin. I love you. Being in my children's life. Dropping my daughter off to school every morning. Seeing my son every day. Nobody can tell me about leadership. And I want all of you to be in a position to do the same thing. Caleb ATL Bodywork said, I pray I'm selected soon. I know I still have a lot of growing to do. However, you will teach me how to master this business in my industry. I will be a Jake mentee. Gotta do the work. Gotta do work. There are 4 value systems that I look at before I mentee anybody. And this is why everybody that I mentee makes $1 million. There's a 4 value system pillars that I go by. The first value system is how focused or extreme or disciplined somebody can be. The first thing I look at is, I'm talking about, because when I look at a mentee, I look at somebody that's going to be in my circle for the rest of their life or my life. So when I look at a mentee, I look at a couple of different things. This helps me determine the value system, right? One is, how focused or disciplined are they? Or how easily distracted are they? Appreciate that, cousin. How disciplined are they? Because I can't be around anybody that's not disciplined. Anybody that lacks discipline is somebody that I cannot take time away from my family or my business or my students. I can't take time away to then go and mentee somebody and deal with their personal issues if they're suck at discipline. And you're not good at discipline if you suck at self-accountability. Because self-accountability is 100% tied to your discipline. It's important. It's number one. The second thing I look at, discipline. Who you are and how you hold yourself accountable to any area of your life is discipline. Number 2, how strong is your family? How strong is your support circle? Now, a lot of y'all may say relatives or family. I mean family. Who you decided was going to be your family. You have a decision to choose who your family is. You don't have a choice to make who your relatives are. So my second focus is, who is your family? And how much value do they bring to you, and how much value do you bring to them? How do they look at you? How do they support you? How do they revere you? How do they perceive you to be? That determines how strong your family core is. If it's not strong, we got to get you to restore that. Number three, how strong is your financial stability? This is absolutely important. If you are not strong financially, I'm not saying that you have to be rich. But what I am saying is that you must be financially solvent. And being financially solvent simply means that you have surplus capital, so you're not stressed about money. Here's a number one factor. The number one factor of people that make decisions that cost them in the long haul is based on where they are financially. We take jobs that we don't like to pay for bills or a lifestyle that we can't afford. It's important. How financially solvent are you? And number four, how strong is your faith in God? Cam said, I love the way that you come at us. Cam on YouTube said, I love the way that you come at us. You speak from a pure heart. Love you, Dr. J. Eugenia said, it is an act of intelligence to listen to and study a person for an extended period of time. Then perhaps you may have enough information to make a good assessment on them. MJ said, that's why I always like listening to you, Dr. J, and I always will. Hey, Brother Jake, I'm in your class. How often can I put money into my private bank? For an example, if I'm locked in at $12,000 a year, can I put an extra $8,000 in my policy if it's just sitting in the policy public bank? If you're in my class, if you're in my class, please, you'll know that answer. If you're actively in my class next week, you'll get that lesson or that training. If you do not know that answer, you haven't been through all of the class yet, because you will know that answer when you go through the class. Okay. And then the fourth thing that I look at our value system is the faith. How strong is your faith? And scripture says, you judge a tree by the fruit it bears. A person with good fruit is not a broke person. And a broke person is someone that only has one side of something. You only got love, but you ain't got spirituality, relationships, and money, you're broke. You only got money, you ain't got spirituality, relationships, and love, you're broke. You're good at relationships, but you suck at spirituality, love, and money, you're broke. Any one of anything. You need all four elements in your life to have what we call true wealth, which is peace. It's all important. Money is a direct reflection of the value that you bring to society and how many people you bring in that value to. So people say, Jake, I'm extremely influential and I'm valuable, but I just don't make a lot of money. Odds are you may have a lot of value, but your reach is not that valuable. Therefore, the money that you're bringing home is a direct reflection of that. Very simple. How financially solvent and helpful and peaceful you are will determine that. So yes, you may have a lot of value. Yes, you may have great advice, but if your impact is not that far, your reach is not that far, the money that you have in your account is nothing but energy. So it will reflect how much value that you're bringing in society. Very simple. It's very simple. Very simple. So to wrap up everything we talked about in this 2 hours, if you came in any of my lessons or any of this lesson and you weren't here from beginning to end, odds are you probably got fragmented information without the full teaching. And anybody that receives fragmented information without the full teaching is ill-advised, and you're getting pieces of information, not the whole truth of fact. So go back on my YouTube, watch the whole thing if you only got a fragmented piece. So to bring everything back into reality, why your leadership is costing you a fortune. Remember, fortune is not based on finances, as I've said over these 2 hours. Fortune is based on the peace that you have. Choose understanding the difference between mentorship and counsel is important. Understanding that in mentorship, you don't pay for mentorship. You cannot pay someone to mentor you. Mentorship is typically free. Counsel is not. So if somebody is asking for you to pay them, do not consider them your mentor. They are just your counsel. So you need to vet to make sure that they understand and have the specialty of that counsel. The next thing that we talked about is understanding the importance of picking the right team. Picking the right people around you will absolutely elevate your life. If you have a bunch of people around you that are takers and not creators, odds are they're going to be taken from the strongest person. If you're the strongest person, they're going to take from you. Understanding that when it comes to leadership, it's not about being brash or aggressive or on this highway to leadership. Leadership is about assessing abilities, the placement of people that are around you, and putting them in the best environment, which means there has to be some type of soft developmental skills that you need in order to really bring out the best in people. Okay, that's what leadership is. So when we talked about this brief time that we were talking about alpha male and leadership, the keynote that was mentioned in that whole concept was you're not an alpha male if people cannot see the work. If people are not coming to you in the greatest multitude for you to solve a big problem, you're only alpha in your mind. Get back to work, start doing the work, and your work will show and magnify how alpha or beta that you are. If not, the name of the game is not about alpha versus beta. It's about impact and value. The person who has the most impact, the person who has the most value, tends to also have the most reach. That person is a person of value. You are not a valuable person if you can be easily replaced. Unfortunately, people don't like to hear that truth. Okay. Value is based on your ability to not be easily replaced. The reason why people like retro Jordans and classics is because you can't find a lot of it, which means the value of it goes up. If there's a bunch of people like you in the world, guess what? You are not as valuable as you think that you are. You're valuable in the Lord's eye, but in the place of the marketplace and the people, you are not that valuable. Remember, we do not teach about and talk about in history people that did not change the world. It's a fact. It's a fact. So if you want to be a person of value, you got to be able to do it. Okay? So I think it's very important that we understand this. If you understand it, your life will be changed. If your life will be changed, you'll be able to go to the next level and be able to impact not just yourself, but people that are around you. Because remember that the whole purpose of this life that we live is to be of value to the people that God has placed in our life, not for personal gain. So the money that you make is for the value of other people. How can you help move the economy, make other people's life better? You get friends, the value is how much value can it add to them. All these things are important, leadership skills, because in scripture it says the greatest among you will be a servant of all. Being a servant of all means what can I do to move the people forward? But best believe people that move the people forward and bring a bunch of value are people that get paid a lot of money. Let's not get that confused. And money is dependent on the currency of the time. Whether it's dollar bills or cryptocurrency, don't freaking matter to me. All that matters is that people are compensating you based on the value that you bring into society. This was family no support. I let the clowns we know in my ear, and I got caught up, didn't vet properly. Yep. Kayla of ATL Works, I absolutely love your self-accountability. You are not ashamed of blasting yourself for the better good of yourself. I think that's pretty dope. She also said, know that I will actively improve in my faith and my finances. I am understanding now. I have way too much ego and entitlement issues. Thank you. That's all that it is, y'all. Being a true leader is understanding that all of our shit stink. And understanding that all of your shit stink brings about self-accountability, which brings about a true realization about where we are, which gives us more value to add to society. People will always say something about you. That's a part of the game. The more valuable you are, the more advice people try to give. But in truth, all you got to do is make sure that you keep doing what you have to do and keep showing your work of your development as well as the work that you're providing to other people. Other than that, you will be fine. Welcome to the Private Banker Society, where we believe in self-independence, self-accountability, and also realizing that financial solvency is the key to sovereignty. You cannot be sovereign if your finances are out of whack. The key is that you can be able to answer, do as you please, and that's important. Why? Because entrepreneurs today are the new king and queens of this time, right? You got your own kingdom, you have your own wealth, you have your own money, you have your own staff, you have people that support and value your customers, your supporters. That's the new age kingdom. If you have a hard time running a kingdom, you have a hard time running your entrepreneurship or your business, which means you probably got a hard time with yourself. It's very key. And I think that'd be great. Max said on YouTube, I am going to improve my financial situation and my spirituality as an inspiring leader. I love it. YouTube, y'all get it. YouTube, y'all absolutely get it. YouTube, y'all absolutely get it. Y'all absolutely get it. So if you're on YouTube right now, if you're on Instagram, you want to watch this follow up, go to my YouTube, Jake Tayler Jacobs, and you'll be able to see it. Watch this video, like this video. Y'all know our lives are always long. It's like a free freaking lesson or a class. It's how I intended to make it, so that those that are in it, and are not, that are not. And other than that, y'all go be great. And just remember that the truth is good enough. And being truthful with yourself first is the first step of becoming the leader that God intended you to be. You cannot become who you need to be lying to yourself. You got to be open, honest, and transparent. And for those of you that came into this training or this pod class in the middle of the pod class, odds are you miss a bunch of points that were made that bring value or validity to any points that I made. So go back and watch the video from scratch over and over again, and stop being that person that only gives information or takes half information and tries to come up with the truth. Get all of the information, get all of the facts before you try to criticize anybody. Love you. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Peace.